Have you noticed something?
Following breaking news out of the Middle East, Israeli Defense Forces say
the Israeli military says Hamas.
As Israel says it targeted tunnels and weapons manufacturing sites.
Israel says
we spoke with the international spokesperson from the IDF, Richard Hecht.
Israeli authorities say
the Israelis say
Israel says
Israel's defense forces saying
Israel saying that's according to the Israeli military.
Israel says every single time. But over in Israel, prominent journalists stopped believing the military years ago. Back in 2015, Gideon Levy would write a scathing article in the Israeli Haaretz saying, quote, "The policy of denial and disconnection from reality is rising to a dangerous level, and the illness is getting worse. Israel further entrenches itself in its imaginary reality. It's all just a matter of hasbara, the Israeli euphemism for propaganda." Now, the term Hasbara has its nuances. Hasbara is one of those wacky Israeli words that defy translation, but as senior Haaretz correspondent Anshel Pfeffer maintains, Hasbara is simply the act or profession of explaining. Even going so far as to say, Hasbara is now one of the basic tenets of 21st century Zionism. Indeed, many Israeli media outlets and think tanks are comfortable with this official-sounding interpretation. And in fact, Hasbara is a fully codified institution within the Israeli government. After the 2006 Lebanon War, the so-called Hasbara apparatus underwent a massive overhaul, which included the creation of a government office dedicated solely to Hasbara, the National Hasbara Headquarters within the Office of the Prime Minister. Its many arms extend to the Foreign Ministry, the Ministry of Diplomacy and Diaspora Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, the Jewish Agency for Israel, and notably the IDF Spokespersons Division, the propaganda arm of the Israeli military, tasked with operating the IDF's official website and blog, YouTube channel, Twitter, and other social media accounts. Official military communiques have earned the ire of even seasoned Israeli journalists. The state authorities have acquired for themselves a shady reputation when it comes to their credibility. And it's not only journalists, by the way, but also the IDF's very own Major General Yitzhak Brick, who complained that the military suffered from a, quote, culture of lying. In a stunning expose, Brick described within the IDF a culture of lies, whitewashing, squaring circles, concealing information, and coordinating testimonies of those involved before military police investigations begin. In Operation Cast Lead, we turned to Jewish communities abroad, and with their help, we recruited several thousand volunteers, said Ilan Stolman, who is Deputy Director of the Information Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a key fixture of the Hasbara infrastructure. In an interview with the Kalkalist paper, Stolman answered questions about a new professional team of comment writers who will flood websites around the world with pro-Israeli messages, and who will participate in discussions about Israel on blogs around the world, and on websites such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Twitter, in particular, would receive, quote, round-the-clock activity. In a pattern that would be repeated in the future, the ministry would recruit educated young people who speak foreign languages and use social media. Our people won't say, "Hello, I'm from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs," nor will they necessarily identify themselves as Israelis. They will speak as citizens and write responses that will appear personal, but will be based on a pre-prepared list of messages compiled by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In 2013, the Prime Minister's office would deploy so-called covert units of their own to Israeli universities, taking to Facebook and Twitter, and also not disclosing that they were working for the government. These units would be set up in a, quote, semi-military fashion, with a student senior coordinator whose tuition would be covered in exchange for their participation. The other students working under them would also receive partial scholarships. And disseminating Hasbara to an international audience is critical to shaping that narrative. During the bombing of Gaza in 2021, Israeli officials briefed thousands of journalists. In just one day, the IDF foreign media spokesman briefed 180 journalists. With the advent of TikTok as well, the State of Israel saw another opportunity, and their official TikTok account gained tens of thousands of followers over the course of the conflict. In fact, according to a recent investigation from Haaretz, the State of Israel pulled out all of the stops, even waging a psychological warfare campaign against its own citizens, illegal under Israeli law. Undertaken by the IDF spokesperson's unit, the operation sought not to downplay Israeli war crimes or spin them, but to play them up. Using fake social media accounts in order to conceal their military source, IDF officers uploaded images and video of Israeli airstrikes and tried to make the hashtag #GazaRegrets go viral. The disproportionate destruction of Gaza has its negative consequences on Israeli Hasbara efforts, as described by former Hasbara chief Yarden Vadakai. The damage in Gaza is way larger and more dramatic than in Israel. In the world of public opinion, Israel is the stronger side. Palestinians are the weaker side. This is the limitation of Hasbara. You have to say it frankly. Israel is still hard at work deploying armies of keyboard warriors across the internet, and the architects of the operation are quite open about their efforts. Just in 2022, Israel's deputy foreign minister held a webinar for Hasbara activists, saying it is focusing on getting information out on social media to apply pressure on conventional media. The so-called online briefing was attended by about 100 participants, including activists and social media influencers. The deputy foreign minister, who at the time was Mr. Idan Roll, spoke very candidly to them about their important role in shaping public perceptions of Israeli military operations, saying that one of the biggest challenges is to fulfill as many operational goals as possible and as quickly as possible before international political pressure requires the country to halt its campaign. This determines how much breathing space the world gives us to continue hitting our targets, he said. This is where Hasbara comes in. Hasbara gives us time and gives us legitimacy to act and protect ourselves. He called social media specifically an instrument to apply pressure on conventional media. That's the name of the game these days.
Also following breaking news out of the Middle East.